Subscribe to our channel. Click on bell icon. You never miss any update. So welcome. So today we are going to discuss about Selenium, the very first class on Selenium. So before starting with Selenium, first we need to know what exactly the Selenium is, right? So Selenium is an automation testing tool. We all know it, right? Yes. So before that, you need to know the difference between what is manual testing and automation testing. In the previous classes, we have discussed about manual testing. Manual testing in the sense performing all the user operations, watching the actual behavior, performing the operations on the application. Means the human intervention will be high in the manual testing. And when we come into the automation, all the human activities what we have done earlier, so that will be automated now. So earlier you used to interact with the application, now tool will interact with the application. Any tool, I'm generalizing it, not Selenium or not QTP or any, just generalizing it, right? So automation is manual. See, if I say automation in the sense, what does it mean? Not only a testing, like if a human intervention or human activity is done or carried out, the work which is done by the human that is carried out by some external force or external source, that we'll call it as an automation. Same in our software testing too. Earlier, we used to perform operations, we used to watch the actual behavior. Now we are not going to do that. Tool will do it, right? So that is how it works. Now let's begin with the very first class, Selenium. So before starting up with the Selenium, like what's your idea on Selenium? Have you heard it earlier, or what do you think about the tool, or whatever it may be? Just give me some inputs about Selenium, whatever you heard about the tool till now. Any?
Really, I don't know anything about Selenium.
Okay, fine, that's great. Not a problem. So we'll see from scratch. So one thing, Selenium is a testing tool, right? Which is used to perform testing activity. Stick with that, right? Yes. Now let's move on to the Selenium official website and let's go ahead and let's check what exactly Selenium is saying about Selenium. So seleniumhq.org is the official website of Selenium community. seleniumhq.org. On the very first line of Selenium website, it says that Selenium automates browsers. That's it. So Selenium is an automation testing tool which automates the browsers. In a simpler words, I can say that using Selenium, we can test any application which loads on browser. If you are going to load Facebook on a browser, it's going to test it. If you are going to load Amazon on it, it's going to test it. Means whatever the application is available to load on a browser, this Selenium will help us to test that application. So that's the reason it is saying that Selenium automates browsers. That's it. If you want to perform any testing activity on Windows based applications, or I can say standalone applications, then Selenium is not a right choice for you. First, let us differentiate that what exactly it is. See here we have something called Audacity. This is application. Here we have something called Camtasia. This is application. And Epic Pen we have. This is application. If you want using Selenium, if you want to automate this, Selenium will not agree. Selenium will not helpful for you at all. Selenium is not used to perform any desktop based or standalone applications. Selenium or Selenium is capable of testing the applications which loads in a browser. Like if you want to test a Facebook, obviously it loads in a browser, we can test it. If you want to test your banking application which loads in a browser, a net banking, ICICI or any SBI or any other bank, right? So that can be tested. Getting the point? Using Selenium, we can test those applications which loads in browser. This is point one. That's the reason they clearly state that Selenium automates browser. That's it. Next. So Selenium is not a single tool, it is a suite of tools, group of tools, or set of tools which are get together tightly, which helps us to perform excellent automation testing. Clear? So now let's go ahead and let's discuss about Selenium, history of Selenium, architecture of Selenium, and everything from the scratch. Okay? Yeah. So let's begin some slideshow, which helps us to understand what exactly the Selenium is. Let's see. So before talking about Selenium, first let's discuss about few important tools or few tools which exist in market. QTP is an automation testing tool, same like Selenium, which is developed by HP. QTP, or you can call it as a UFT, Unified Functional Tool. So just I'm listing out some famous tools. IBM has its own tool. We call it as a IBM Rational Functional Tester, Vatter, Vatin, a few other tools, and Selenium. These are the famous automation testing tools available. But whenever you talk about a percentage of using these tools in the market, I can say Selenium plays a very at high when compared to other tools. I can say Selenium is top most used automation testing tool when compared to any of these tools above, because it has lot of advantage when compared to other tools. I can say about half a decade back, or else if around 5 to 6, 7 years back, QTP was excellent. It was monopoly at the time, a very user friendly automation testing tool, but it has a lot of drawbacks. All those drawbacks has been covered in Selenium actually, right? So that's the reason right now Selenium is popular in the market. It's most happening tool. I can say around 70% of the automation testers uses this Selenium according to my analysis. So it's a widely used tool in a simpler words. So we are going to learn that excellent tool in coming class. Next. So as I said, what is Selenium? The question again. So as we have went to the Selenium official website, and it says that Selenium automates browsers. Yes, Selenium is a testing tool, and moreover, like technically, if you talk about technically, we can't call Selenium as a tool. It's not a tool. It doesn't have anything called exe to execute and run it. Those are jar files. It's a API. I guess it's too early to discuss about all those things. Still, let me call it as a tool. So let me generalize it. Okay, so Selenium is an automation testing tool which automates browsers. So what are the advantages of Selenium over other automation testing tools? See here, my intention is to explain the advantages of Selenium. Means to explain the advantages of Selenium, I need to compare this Selenium with some other tool, right? So that's the reason I'm going to compare this tool with QTP or UFT. It doesn't mean that to learn Selenium you need to have idea on QTP. It's not at all like that. Both works for the same purpose. Both may work for the same purpose, but both are completely different tools, complete different UI, complete different working principle. So there is nothing called like you need to learn QTP to learn Selenium or learn Selenium for learn QTP. It's nowhere relation, I mean to say. So here I am just comparing it with QTP to explain the advantages of Selenium. As simple as that. Okay. If you have no prior idea on QTP, then just please ignore that. No need to worry at all. So as I said, at the earlier stages, maybe as I said a decade back, QTP was monopoly. It was one of the easiest automation testing tool which was existing in the market at that time. Now, the main agenda of Selenium is completely built on drawbacks of QTP. First, they have analyzed the completely QTP drawbacks, and they have started developing the tool called Selenium. So I can say Selenium is completely built on drawbacks of QTP. As discussed, Selenium is completely free. Not only freeware, it's an open source. There is a difference. It is a completely open source. Means a lot of people contribute it onto Selenium. It's not built by any company. It's a community's tool. Not only getting the application or not only getting the tool as a free, you will be having the access to the source code too. It's open source. If you are good at coding, you can improvise that or you can add few things onto it also, right? So it's a completely free and it's a open source tool. Not only that, earlier QTP or UFT used to support only Windows operating systems. It's a major drawback, right? But now Selenium supports almost all major operating systems like Windows, Linux, Mac, Solaris, or any other operating systems also. Wherever there is a capabilities of installing Java and Eclipse, in all those operating system, we can automate the things as simple as that. Means it supports multiple operating system. This is also one of the best advantages of Selenium when compared to other automation testing tools. Next, when compared to QTP again, QTP supports only IE and it's partially supporting Firefox and Chrome too. But technically speaking, Selenium full-fledgedly supports multiple browsers. Like if you want to test activity on Chrome, or we can if you want to test on Firefox, on Safari, if you want to test application on Internet Explorer, on Opera or Chrome, you can easily test it. Means it supports multiple browsers. It's not restricting to one browser. You can test on almost all major browsers, and we have something called HTML browser. We can test in Edge. Like there are few other browsers also, but I have listed only the major browsers here. Not only that, not only that, Selenium supports multiple languages. So what is this languages? So this is a very important and keen thing what you need to observe. Just see, just try to understand this. My application is developed with Java. Application background or application is developed with Java, right? And I'm trying to test it using Selenium. So in Selenium, I need to write a code such that it will go and it will interact with the application, right? Yes. So what language I need to use it here? A lot of people do think that if application is developed with Java, we need to write the code in Java, Selenium code. If application is developed in .NET, you need to write in C# or .NET. No, it's not that. It's trash. Whatever the application background it may be, you can use any of this language. Java, Ruby, Python, Perl, or C# or .NET. These are the famous language which are supported by Selenium. See here, if you talk about QTP, it supports only VB. VB scripting. How much you are good at Java, it will not accept it. You need to write the code at any cost in VB only. But whenever you come on to the Selenium, it supports multiple languages. See, my colleague is very much good at Ruby. You need not learn a new language. You will go ahead and you will write in Ruby. Assume that you are good at Python. You go and you write your Selenium code in Python. I am good at Java. I am going to write in Java. Means it is not asking you to learn a specific language. Like whatever on which language you are going best, you can go ahead and you can write your script. Okay, what is the script about? Again, there will be a bit confusion here. Any automation testing tool, any tool in the world, does this tool understand a human language? Assume that I need to click on some sign in button in Gmail homepage. If I say it in English like Thai, go and click on sign in button in Gmail homepage, does it work? Obviously no. So I need to write that in some code so that it will go and it will interact with the application. So this is, you can write in this many languages, right? If you are good at Java, go ahead and write in the code in Java so that it will go and it will interact with the application, right? This is the language which we are feeding to our tool, because there should be some communicator between you and your tool, because your tool will not understand English or Hindi or any other language. right? So it understands this five languages. So you are going to give instructions in this language so that it will go and it will perform the activity on the end application. Clear? Yes, that is the thing what we need to understand here. Okay. Next, not only that, Selenium can be easily integrated with other open source tools like TestNG to generate excellent reports, Log4j. It's like there are many tools we'll see as we go into the subject. Means Selenium can be easily integrated with other tools also. Using Selenium, we can perform parallel testing. Parallel testing in the sense you have 100 test cases to be executed. So each test case may take 1 minute to complete, it takes 100 minutes, right? So to overcome that, we can test it parallelly, right? We can make them as a four groups, and if you run 25 at once, so obviously we can reduce by by four times, right? So we can perform the parallel testing too using this Selenium. And not only that, Selenium supports mobile testing also. Mobile testing in the sense mobile browser testing. Normally we can do it, but Android testing or iOS testing can also be supported. But using some tools like Appium package or Appium API should be used for it. Anyways, we are not going to cover that in the class, but it supports mobile testing too, right? So these are the advantages of Selenium over other automation testing tools. Now, as said earlier, Selenium is a suite of tools, right? Or else I'm going to give you an introduction on different components of Selenium. This is also a very important concept to be discussed. Components of Selenium or flavors of Selenium in a simpler words. Let it call rather than calling it as a components. It's good if you call it as a flavor because each flavor will do a different task. Components is different. Like so, I can say flavors of Selenium. Let's start with Selenium IDE. Selenium IDE is a simple Mozilla Firefox extension or add-in. It works similar to QTP's record and playback. Just click on that record button, perform the activity, the whole script will be recorded. If you click on run, your activities will be reproduced again. So Selenium IDE is a record and playback tool which works only for Mozilla Firefox. Using Selenium IDE, we can't completely test an application, and performing a robust framework is not possible in using Selenium IDE. Okay, using Selenium IDE, no one in the world will use this for the testing. Next, Selenium RC. This is completely out of scope. It is deprecated from the market. Almost we are not using this Selenium RC. Okay, but still I will give you an overview of RC. But RC, Selenium Remote Control. It was the earlier maybe 5 years back we used to use it, but right now it is completely deprecated and Selenium community is not producing it anymore or not updating it anymore, I can say. Next, we are going to talk about Selenium WebDriver. This is what actually the important is. I can give a star mark to it, Selenium WebDriver. If I say Selenium, in the sense I am talking about Selenium WebDriver only. Because Selenium ID is record and playback, it doesn't work. And Selenium RC is outdated, deprecated, so even this will not work. So the thing what we are going to learn in our coming classes in the coming course is Selenium WebDriver, a complete end-to-end about Selenium WebDriver we are going to see in the coming classes. Selenium WebDriver. Okay, and we have called Selenium Grid also. It's used for cross browser and cross platform testing. That also we are going to see in the coming sessions. Like before going to that, I will give you a few more hands on this tools. Okay. Yep. Next, The very important see here, we have this many versions, but once we start about talking about Selenium WebDriver, first we need to know the history of it. Who developed it? When started developing that? How it came into market? What is the agenda of it? So this definitely you need to know, right? Because it's a tool. The history of the tool is quite needed. So rather than calling it as a history of a tool, I can say that emerging of Selenium WebDriver. So directly Selenium WebDriver not introduced in the market. It's not directly came into the market. It has gone through a lot of developments actually. So what are those and how it has led to build an excellent tool called Selenium WebDriver? What are the circumstances? All those things we are going to see in the history of Selenium. Let's begin. Or emerging of Selenium WebDriver. So Selenium was first developed by Jason Huggins in 2004, an engineer at ThirdWorks. So actually he was working on a web-based application. He's testing a web-based application actually, like testing the same activities or executing the same activities again and again. He identified that it is taking a lot of time, lot of effort, and moreover the quality also get decreases by doing the same type of activity again and again. So you want to reduce the time, you want to enhance the quality. As he is very fond of programming, so he has written some program such a way that it automatically controls the browser actions, and he has named that program as JavaScript test runner. So technically JavaScript test runner is the very first version of Selenium, I can say. So eventually this JavaScript test runner has, I mean, a lot of people has been contributed into it, and they have introduced this as a separate tool called Selenium Core. So eventually JavaScript runner has been developed as Selenium Core, not only by Jason Huggins, we other also contributed to develop this Selenium Core. But Selenium Core used to have lot of problems which are related to the same origin policy issue of browsers. Just understand this concept, which is this is related to the web security issues. So as a QA tester, you need not worry about that, but just in a simpler words, I will try to explain you. So if you have two web browsers or two web pages, this is web page 1 and this is web page 2. This two belongs to same website. The data between these two web pages can be easily interchanged because they two belongs to same scheme or same origin policy. Same origin actually, technically speaking. So the data can be interchanged between these two browser without having any problem. Okay, this browser is running some script to bring some data from this browser, so obviously it will bring, I mean from that web page it will bring it, because both are from same origin. Same origin defines if the origin is a contribution of URL scheme, host name and port number. If three are same, then these two are from same origin. If it is the same origin, then the data can be transmitted. If it is not from the same origin, the data will not be transmitted from one to other. Why? Because this is introduced in a browser to prevent some miscellaneous scripting activity. If I have created one more script or one more browser or one more I can say web page where it throws some virus onto it, in that case it will reject this. Why? Because it is not from the same host name, or it's not from the same port number or same URL schema. It is completely from the different, right? So due to that, the miscellaneous activities can be controlled. That's the reason the same origin or same origin policy has been issued in the browsers. But what happening is here we are using some two browsers are there, or assume that this is a browser. To work with this browser, we are using Selenium Core. So right, and the Selenium Core will go and interact with the browser, and the browser think that this is from different URL and different host number, different port number, and it will replicate it. Means the same origin policy stops this activity. So due to that, what we used to do is we to deploy the whole test application and web server into our local machines, right? Yes. And eventually, the Selenium core has made some changes to it, and they have upgraded that as Selenium RC. Selenium RC. It is developed by Paul Hamilton from ThirdWorks. So what he has done is he has created a remote server in between. Here we write the script, it will go onto the remote server, and from the remote server it will move on to the application under test. What does this remote server will do? So this will pretends, or this will gives a false information to the browser that application under test and Selenium core are on the same host number. I mean to say on the same origin. But technically not on the same origin, but remote server will help to do that. But as the days progressed, the lot of applications, lot of browsers has came with lot of security features. Due to that, Selenium RC's usage has been decreased. So after that, they have went through research again and discussed a few things on that and started developing a tool called WebDriver. Simmons from Google started working on this project. His main agenda is to remove all the pain points of earlier version of Selenium. All the pain points you need to remove that. That's his motto, right? And eventually he has almost done that. In 2008, this is a very excellent year for Selenium. In 2008, Selenium team decided to merge this Selenium RC and WebDriver to make a very powerful tool called Selenium WebDriver or Selenium 2. This is what we are using in the market now. Okay, maybe Selenium 3.9 or some version we have, so whatsoever it may be. Technically, it's Selenium 2 or it's a Selenium WebDriver. It's a combination of Selenium RC and WebDriver. This is how it has been developed. From the JavaScript runner to the Selenium core to the Selenium RC, now Selenium WebDriver. We are not using any of the above. We are using only Selenium WebDriver now in the market. Clear? Yes, as discussed, Selenium IDE. This is different. Selenium WebDriver is different and IDE is different. IDE is a simple extension for the Mozilla Firefox. For the Mozilla Firefox browsers, you will be having a lot of extensions, right? So this is also one of the extension for it, a simple extension, right? And which is developed by a Japanese developer. And anyways, which was actually donated to the Selenium project in 2006. It just have a record and playback feature. That's it. And we have something called Selenium Grid, which is very useful for to perform cross-browser and cross-platform testing, which really minimize the time of execution by splitting the test suite. Cross-browser and cross-platform testing. Cross-browser, in the sense, testing a application on a different browsers. You want to test Amazon, and if I want to test that Amazon in Firefox, Chrome, Safari, Internet Explorer, this is called cross browser, testing the same application in different browser. Cross platform in the sense testing an application in a different environments like Internet Explorer, like what do you call Windows, Linux, Mac, on different operating systems. That is cross platform. Cross browser in the sense different browsers, cross platform in the sense in the different platforms. I mean to say different operating systems. Not only that, this is two advantage, and the other advantage is that it minimizes script execution time. How it minimizes script execution time? Using Selenium Grid, you can perform parallel testing. As I said, parallel testing will really help the time reduction. I mean to say, if you want to execute 100 test cases, right? So it may take 100 minutes. Assume that if you execute one If 1 minute time takes to execute it, it takes obviously 100 minutes to complete 100 test cases, one after the other. If you test it, if you want to test 10 10 10 parallelly, first you are going to execute 10 parallelly at once. All the 10 test cases will be done. So in 1 minute we can perform 10. So if you want to perform 100, just within a 10 minutes, we can perform 100 testing activity. Means parallelly we can do it. Just it's an example, it's an assumption what I have given you. Okay, but it's not exactly how it works like what I said. It's just an explanation to explain you what exact how we can minimize the script time, script execution time by using parallel testing. Next. Okay, so this is the WebDriver architecture, how exactly the Selenium WebDriver will work. And once after installation, anyways, you will be knowing about all these things. But just I will give you an overview of the Selenium language binding and all those things. Majorly, it has been divided into three parts architecture. One is a language binding, Selenium API, and other one is a drive Firefox or Chrome or any browsers where you are going to work on. Right? Yes. So first, language binding. Language binding in the sense, whenever you are going to write your code in Java, then you need to take Java language binding. If you are going to write in C sharp, you need to take the C sharp language binding generally. Okay? Yes. So what happens is this, whenever we write a script in language binding, one. Next is a Selenium API as I discussed, and third is a browser. So whatever you write in the script, it will move on to the Selenium WebDriver API and it will try to work on the browser. This is how it flows on. In a simpler words, I have given the architecture like this. So here I have written some JavaScript here. Okay, assume that a JavaScript, Java script, and this script once I run it, it will interact with the Selenium API. Selenium API will go and open the different browsers. Means if you want to work on Chrome browser, if you want to open this application under test in Chrome, what happens is this API will go and invoke or uses this Chrome driver. So Chrome has some driver, Firefox has driver, IE has driver. This driver will help to perform the testing activity on the respective browsers. Okay, driver will help us to perform the testing activity on the respective browsers. Right, so this is how the architecture, or this is how exactly it works. Now, so this is the theory part of your Selenium, and I can say the history of Selenium, emerging of Selenium, and all those things. Now, the very important factor is configuration of Selenium. How we are going to configure that Selenium in our machine. How to use it. As said earlier, I said that we don't have any exe file, right? So how we are going to install it? And how the installation take. We can't call it as an installation, guys. It's not any installation actually, as I said earlier. It doesn't have any exe file to execute. It has some jar files that need to be added in the Eclipse. So what is this Eclipse again? Eclipse is editor. What type of editor it is? Why we are using Eclipse? And all those things should be discussed actually. Okay. But first we'll start installing, or we'll start going ahead with installation of Selenium. Right? So let's see first, before going to the installation of Selenium. Everyone, like if you are working on Windows machine, first you go to your C drive, program files, Java, and just check, does you have this two folders in your machine. If you have these two folders in your machine, then I can say Java has been installed in most of the cases. This is the first step. Why? Because to install Selenium, the very first precondition is you need to have Java in your machine. Java should be installed. This is the very first precondition. Java should be installed and the path should be settled. This is the second one. It should be installed and Java path should be setted. Next, third, you need to have Eclipse. Okay, and next we'll be adding that Selenium jars into the project. This is how it works. The first is that you need to have Java in your mission. So this will help us to understand whether we have a Java or not in your mission. If it is showing this JRE and JDK, two folders, leave about that version. I have 1.8, maybe 1.9 is the latest right now what we have. So we are not worried about that. But technically, you need to have these two folders in your program files under Java. If you're having these two folders, or if you're having this Java, and in that if you're having these two, then yes, you have Java installed in your mission. Some cases you don't have this JDK, you'll be having only JRA. In that case, no, it is not. Clear? So just check your missions and let me know so that I can guide you further.
Yeah.
So if you have it, it's good. If you don't have anything, then what is the procedure? Simple. You need to download the Java. As said earlier, download and install the Java. Go to Google
Okay.
and simply type as download Java JDK. I'm repeating it. Download Java JDK.
JDK. Okay.
Java Developers Kit. Okay, so you can take this Java Developer Kit 8, or you can this one.
Download Java JDK. Okay. Then which one? Can you go back? I didn't see it.
This one.
Java C developer. Kit 8.
If you want, you can take 9 too. That's not a problem. 9 also works.
Kit 8. Okay.
You have taken 8, right? 10 also works. 10 also works. Okay. Now just go to this page. Accept license. And you're working on Windows, right? Just check Windows 64 and JDK download. Can you see this? JDK 82171 Windows 64.exe.
Okay, wait a minute. Kit 82171. Okay.
Anything. Leave out the version. Just download that and run the file. Download it. It will be downloaded into your machine. Once after download with that, you just run it. In a sense, you just install that.
Okay.
Once after installing it, then you can find these two folders here. You can find these two folders. Okay. These two folders. Once after installing it, again come back. Okay. And
download it first. Or can I install directly?
You need to download and then install it.
Okay.
Download into your local machine and then just click on setup or run. It will get installed, right? Yes.
I download.
It takes time. Download and install it. And meanwhile, you just take the steps. Only two steps. Once after done with that, okay. Once after done with the download and installation, it should be completely installed. And lastly, you will get a message that Java is successfully installed in your machine. After getting that message, you just come to your C drive. Go to your program files. Go to your program files and
welcome to Java.
Go to Java and check for these two folders, sorry, JDK and JRE. If JDK and JRE two folders are available, then I can say that your Java installation is successfully done. The next activity is you just click on this Java JDK. Click on that Java JDK. Then you just move on to this JDK, repeating it, you just move on to this JDK and copy the path. This is the path.
Okay.
C program files Java JDK and the version of it. At your end, the version may be different or the same, but whatever it may be, just copy this whole path, this one. Just copy it. That's it. Now, what you need to do is you have this PC, right? Right click on your computer, this
Mm-hmm.
PC, and you just go to properties. Properties.
Okay.
See here, it has different ways to go to this page. Either you can go to the control panel, all control panel items and systems. So whatever it may be, but
Mm-hmm.
you need to reach to this page. After that, you just click on advanced system settings, which is to the left side of a screen, advanced system settings. Once we click on
Okay.
that, a small window will be populated on the screen, right? So you have different
Mm-hmm.
tabs here, computer name, hardware, and advanced. You need to go on to this advanced tab,
Okay.
right? And you need to just click on this environment variables here. Can you see this? Environment
Yes.
variables. Just click on that environment variables. And here you'll be seeing user variables and system variables. Just come to the system variables, and here we have something called new. Just click on new, and the variable name should be in upper cases. Java underscore home is a variable name. I'm repeating it, Java underscore home. And a variable value is the path what we have copied.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and just click on OK. Just click on OK. And once you click on OK, then I have it already on my machine. Just here, Java home, something like this. Java underscore home. Clear?
Okay.
This is step
Okay.
one. Setting the path. Next, step two. Can you see this path again in the system variables path PATH?
Mm-hmm.
Just click on this path or just select it and click on edit. Okay, you got the path here. Edit environment variable, right? Just click on new. Just click on new. It's very important. And you just paste the one what you have copied. This one, C program file Java JDK. Paste it and at the end you need to write it as slash bin. Just see on the screen,
Mm-hmm.
slash bin. This one. This we have copied, right? C program file Java JDK, and to that just associate this slash bin.
Pin.
Bin is nothing but a folder. Or if you are confused with it, don't worry. You just go to the C again, Java JDK, go to this bin and copy this path.
Okay.
Okay, copy this path and just go to new and just paste that path. Click on OK. Click again once again OK. Again OK. And your environment variable setting has been done. What you do is to make it confirm that whether it has been successfully configured or not, you just go to cmd command prompt. For that, go to your search box and type as cmd, which will ask you to go to the command prompt. Just open the command prompt and here write a simple text saying as Java space hyphen in the sense that small dash version, Java space hyphen version, and click on enter. If Java is successfully configured in your machine, then you will be getting this type of message on your screen. If Java is not properly configured, then it will show that it is an internal or external command error. Okay, 99.9% the information what I have given that helps you to configure your Java, and obviously you will get it. By chance, if it is throwing an error, try to restart it and do it. Still, if you are getting the error, then you have done some mistake. Try to recheck the complete video what I have given and try to do it once again. Clear?
Okay.
Yep. So this is how installation and configuration of Java. Part 1 is done. Part 2, Eclipse. What is Eclipse? What is the use of Eclipse? How to download the Eclipse? What version of Eclipse we need to use and how to use it? That we are going to see in the next session. Okay. Meanwhile, because
Okay.
you need to install and be ready for that, so that I will explain you how to go ahead and take the Eclipse too. Right? Yes.